Kelsey was 21 years old when she vanished.
She was just always very spirited and just full of life. I mean, from the time she was a little girl up until the time that she went missing.
Kelsey's mother, Laura, can barely hold back the tears. Her beloved daughter disappeared less than 2 weeks before her 22nd birthday.
Your heart must be in pieces.
It is. Every second of every day. She never leaves my thoughts.
Kelsey has piercing hazel eyes that would make anyone's heart melt.
I mean, Kelsey's just stunning. What a beautiful young woman.
Yeah, she's a beautiful girl.
Just stunning. Beautiful eyes.
But Kelsey had eyes for only one man, 6'8" basketball star Dante Lucas. They met in junior college.
She was smitten. I knew she was smitten with him.
Laura says she was never a big fan of the basketball forward.
He probably, didn't want to be in a steady relationship, but yet he didn't want to let her go, and he didn't want somebody else to have her either.
Then geography threw a roadblock on the road to romance. Dante transferred to a college in Kansas. Kelsey went the other direction, to a college in Southern California.
When she transferred to college in California, was that the end of her relationship with Dante?
Yeah, they were done at that point.
And were you happy about that?
I was glad. I was glad she was moving on to other things.
But California was too expensive, so Kelsey returned to Denver and went to work at a local store.
So when did Dante come back into the picture?
Shortly before she was going to move back, they started communicating again via text and Facebook and then talking on the phone and all of that.
Laura says Kelsey and Dante got back together, and then the unexpected happened. She was pregnant.
He was on his holiday break. That's when they were in Denver spending time together.
What was Dante's reaction?
According to Kelsey, he was very upset. He was very upset about the pregnancy. One day he was kind of maybe a little bit better with it, and the next day he was not okay with it, so it was kind of a roller coaster. And so I would ask her, do you think Dante's going to be involved or not involved? And she's like, well, I'm about 98% sure he's not going to be involved. He's very manipulative, and I had seen one text message that she had forwarded to a friend where, he threatened to take the baby away from her.
Well, why would he want to take the baby away from her if he didn't want the baby in the first place?
I don't think he did want to. I just think he wanted to scare her.
That things were going to be really hard if she decided to go through with the pregnancy.
Yeah.
On the morning of February 4th, Kelsey went to the doctor for an ultrasound. This is the sonogram of the fetus. Kelsey was so excited, she texted the picture to her mom and even shared it with Dante and his mother.
She had said, everything's good, my due date September 13th, and the doctor said everything looks good, and she was happy and everything, and unfortunately, I never got to talk to her again.
Her parents say Dante texted Kelsey asking her to meet him that night. She left work at 8:41 p.m. When Laura and Kelsey's friends didn't hear from her the next day, they panicked. Laura filed a missing persons report with the Denver police.
When we finally filed the missing persons report, I called Dante right away, to ask him if he knew where she was, and he had said that he had seen her and that they got in a fight. And I said, we can't find her. I said, she's missing. I said, if you don't know where she is. And he's like, oh, okay. I mean, no alarm, no nothing, just, oh, okay, yeah, if I hear anything, I'll let you know. And then shortly after that, I hear back from him, and he's like, well, Kelsey just called me from a private number. She said she lost her phone and that she'll be getting a hold of you soon. Then after that, never really heard anything more from him.
Did a red flag go up?
I was starting to get really uncomfortable at that point.
Kelsey's dad, Doug, says he frantically texted her.
I texted her and I said, how you doing? And she never got back with me. And so I texted her and I said, hey, give me a call. I want to talk to you. So I got a text message back. It says, I'm not feeling good. I'm laying on the couch. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And her friends also, they kind of, after we put everything together, we kind of realized that, hey, you know, that doesn't even sound like Kelsey after we look at it. And we all kind of realized that somebody else must have had her phone and was texting us back just to pacify us, I guess, so.
So you don't believe that that was a text written by your daughter? If you don't think that that was really Kelsey texting you, who was?
It was somebody, yeah, it was probably Dante.
But the suspicion wasn't on Dante. Doug says 3 other people were already under the police microscope.
He was like, man, they think I did something to her.
They were Kelsey's own parents and her brother.
We got interrogated in downtown Denver when Kelsey was missing, and they took me in, and they took my son in, and Laura in, and they were good. I mean, they were really good here in Denver. I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, they flat out just was blaming me. You did it, didn't you? It's like, no, I didn't, you know, and I tell you what, it was tough on me.
And to make matters worse, Kelsey didn't go missing in Denver. She was 2 hours and 115 miles away in Pueblo, Dante's hometown. Kelsie Schelling couldn't contain her excitement. She was having a baby with her basketball star boyfriend, Dante Lucas.
She had said, everything's good, you know, my due date September 13th, you know, the doctor said everything looks good. And unfortunately, I never got to talk to her again, physically talk to her.
Kelsey's dad, Doug, says he thought Kelsey would be worried about his reaction.
And how was she feeling about it?
Really good. Yeah, I think her mom said she was, and she seemed pretty happy when she talked to me, and I was okay with it. I think she was expecting me to just blow up, but I didn't. Thank goodness I didn't.
You wouldn't have wanted that to be your last interaction?
No.
But that was the last phone call Doug Schelling would ever have with his daughter. Later that day, Kelsey vanished from the face of the earth. Doug says Denver police initially thought both he and Kelsey's mom may have been responsible.
The interrogations were horrible.
When cops realized that Kelsey didn't disappear in Denver, but 115 miles away in Dante's hometown of Pueblo, the parents were off the hook, and Dante was in the hot seat.
And we believe that she was killed.
Pueblo Police Captain Eric Bravo is the detective in charge of the case.
You think she was murdered?
I do. And there was some tension with Dante. I think this pregnancy probably played into that.
So what do you think happened to her?
I think she came to Pueblo. I met Dante. I believe there was some argument that escalated between the two. I believe that she was killed. I believe Dante is responsible.
Captain, how would you describe Dante Lucas? Is he a person of interest? Is he a suspect?
He's certainly a person of interest at this point.
Police say these surveillance videos back up that claim, although he has never been arrested or charged in connection with the disappearance. Dante told cops he asked Kelsey to meet at their so-called special place just down the street from his house. He says she wasn't feeling well, so he took her to this hospital and then to this Walmart where they sat and talked. But the surveillance video from that Walmart seems to contradict Dante's story. It shows Kelsey's car pulling into a parking spot around 12 noon. Dante is the only one seen getting out. Then at 7:19 the next morning, the camera catches a tall, thin, mysterious man in a gray hoodie walking to Kelsey's car. Cops can't make out his face, but he gets in without hesitation and drives off.
Who is the person? That's the
Again,
thing.
they're not definitive that it's him. There's some characteristics that I feel are unique to him. They're not of quality where you can make out a face.
Kelsey's car sat in the parking lot for over 18 hours, and the video shows that no one else got in or out.
You're telling me that she sat in that car for 18 hours and didn't get out? Nobody got in or out of that car for 18 hours until the man came back and picked it up and moved it.
And do you have any idea who moved that car?
I think it was Dante.
But the police say they can't confirm that.
They can't confirm it, no. The video's, you know, not great video, but he's a big guy. I mean, you watch the stride and everything.
Where did the man in the hoodie take Kelsey's car? 8 days later, cops found it abandoned in the parking lot of a different hospital, ironically, on Valentine's Day.
It was Valentine's Day, and got the call that the car had been found. And the first question I asked was, is she in the trunk? Because I didn't know. And they said, no, she wasn't in the trunk. And I'm like, there's no sign of her? No, there's no sign of her. And so we made, a mad racing trip down to Pueblo to go talk to the detective down there.
The police say this is definitely Dante on a bank surveillance camera 1 day after Kelsey vanished. He's seen at a drive-through ATM withdrawing $400 from Kelsey's account. The video was enough for cops to arrest him on a charge of identity theft.
You have the right to me, sir.
Dante was in custody for allegedly stealing Kelsey's cash, but cops really wanted to know, where was Kelsey?
So the day she came down, did she go to the doctor?
Yeah.
And what did she tell you?
She wasn't pregnant.
She was or was not?
She was not pregnant.
So how did that get from her not being pregnant to coming down here?
Dante told police that he brought Kelsey here to Parkview Medical Center because she wasn't feeling well. He says that she was inside for about 2 hours, and when she came out, she was no longer pregnant. A couple of problems with that story. Hospital officials say they have no record of Kelsey being here, and their security cameras back that up.
They never went to Parkview Hospital.
That's correct.
She went to the doctor, and what did she tell you after that?
That she was pregnant and everything was fine.
Well, I think he tries to come up with stories to lay the foundation that maybe she lost the baby and she was upset. She left town.
Do you think he's lying?
Absolutely, yeah.
From Parkview, she goes in. She's in there how long?
Hour 45, or hour and a half, hour 45.
And where were you?
In the car.
Why'd you stay in the car?
Just, I don't know, I'm not really a hospital type.
I mean, she's having her baby, dude. You don't want to go in and see?
Dante did seem sure of one thing. He claims he might not be the daddy.
I'm not the only person like she's ever been with or even recently been with.
You heard right. Dante actually questions whether he was the father of Kelsey's baby.
If she is pregnant, there has to be, DNA tests and all that stuff before, it was confirmed by.
The identity theft charge was dropped because it was revealed that Kelsey had given Dante permission to use her debit card and even gave him her PIN. Kelsey is constantly on Captain Bravo's mind. He keeps binders of evidence on his desk as a reminder this is a case he wants to solve.
You think there's any possibility that Kelsey's alive?
I don't think so, no.
What's your fear?
That there's nothing left of her, that we can't find her, ever.
A shadowy figure lurks across the parking lot. Clue number 1 in the disappearance of Kelsie Schelling, 21 years old and 8 weeks pregnant.
What do you think happened to Kelsey?
I think she was murdered.
Murdered. It's the word Kelsey's mom, Laura, feared ever since she vanished 4 years ago. But now that nightmare may be the new reality.
Who do you think murdered her?
I think Dante murdered her.
Dante Lucas, Kelsey's boyfriend, a star on the college basketball team. Her family says he's the father of her baby, and they are convinced of his alleged involvement in Kelsey's disappearance.
Why?
I guess over the baby. I mean, I can't think of any other explanation.
The family is so convinced Dante played a hand in getting rid of Kelsey, at one point they even filed a civil wrongful death lawsuit against him. And they're not alone. Pueblo, Colorado cops say they also suspect Dante may have killed Kelsey.
We know he's the last person that was with her, last person to see her alive, the last person to talk to her. I believe he did kill Kelsey.
Did Dante Lucas go from being a local high school basketball star to a wanted man?
Yeah, he fell from being a high school basketball star to somebody that works odd jobs.
And is considered a person of interest in a
A
possible
strong
murder?
person of interest, yes.
Police say this Walmart surveillance video shows Dante parking Kelsey's car at around 12 noon, the day after she arrived in Pueblo to meet him. But then this image from another Walmart camera shows a different car cops say belongs to his mother, Sarah, presumably waiting to pick up Dante. Look at the timestamp. It says 12:08 p.m.
Do you think she had something to do with Kelsey's disappearance?
I can't discount that at this point.
And no charges have ever been filed against her related to this investigation. But remember, a strange hooded figure was spotted on surveillance cameras getting in and driving off. Strangely, Kelsey's car was ultimately found several days later at this hospital parking lot, almost 3.5 miles from the Walmart. What Kelsey's parents say cops found inside the car at the hospital was bizarre. Peanuts were littered all over the seat. Kelsey's beloved tie-dyed teddy bear gone, and her rosary beads missing.
So who would take a rosary from the rear view mirror that's hanging there?
I don't know.
Who would take a stuffed teddy bear?
This car was trashed. I mean, there's peanuts in the seat, gravel all over.
Did Kelsey even eat peanuts?
No, not that I know of.
Despite what appears to be a mountain of circumstantial evidence, cops have never arrested Dante in connection with her disappearance. The seemingly slow wheels of justice in this case has sparked angry protests in Pueblo.
What do we want? Justice!
Marchers carrying signs reading "Kelsey's life matters," demanding cops arrest Dante. But Pueblo Police Captain Eric Bravo says justice delayed doesn't necessarily mean justice denied.
So, Captain, if you suspect that Dante had something to do with Kelsey's disappearance, why haven't you arrested him?
The case is very complex. At this point, we haven't located Kelsey's body. That's a major hurdle. It's a puzzle to put together. All those pieces need to come together to form a picture, to explain what happened. And we need to be able to put that case together to get a conviction in court.
So if you don't find Kelsey's body, do you think you'll ever charge anyone?
It's more difficult without a body.
Is there any reason you can't bring him back in for more questioning?
You know, I think at this point, he knows he's a person of interest. We may have only one more shot at him, and we won't bring him in until we have enough to arrest him.
Crime Watch Daily tried to contact Dante, but we couldn't reach him, so we went to his house looking for answers.
Hey, Dante.
We found Dante leaving the home he shares with his mother.
Hey, Dante, can I talk to you a second? Dante, it's Anna Garcia from Crime Watch Daily. We want to talk to you about Kelsie Schelling. Dante, I want to talk to you about Kelsey. She was carrying your baby, Dante. I got some questions for you. Your story doesn't make sense, what you told the cops. Dante!
He drove off, not speaking a word. But his mother, Sarah, did speak to our Denver affiliate, KDVR.
They've looked at our property. There's nothing to say my son did anything wrong. What is their motivation?
This week marks 4 years since Kelsey vanished.
Have you accepted the possibility that she might be dead?
Oh, I know she's dead. I think there's less than a 1% chance that she's alive.
If there were any opportunity for you to say anything to Dante or his mother, what would you say?
My first question would just be why? Why did you have to do this? You know, you could have just walked away. If you don't care about Kelsey, what about your child? You know, please just tell us where they are so that they can be laid to rest.
Laura finds strength in the Bible. She even bookmarked this passage, "Love your enemies." But she has faith and hope that one day Kelsey will walk through that door and say, "Mom, I'm home."
So what is there left for you to do now?
I'll keep searching. I mean, I haven't found her yet, so I have to keep searching for her because I can't live the rest of my life like this. I just can't. So some people might think it's silly after 4 years to keep going out and searching for her, but I couldn't stop if I wanted to. I couldn't.